Have you ever woken up from a dream so vivid, so strange, that you couldn't shake it off all day? Maybe you were being chased by something you couldn't see. Maybe you found yourself naked in your high school classroom. Or perhaps you were flying over your childhood home. Whatever it was, I bet you've asked yourself, what does this mean? Well, here's something that might blow your mind. According to Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of all time, your dreams aren't random. They're not just your brain processing the day's events. They're actually messages. Secret messages from the deepest part of your mind, trying desperately to tell you something about your life that you need to know. And today, I'm going to reveal Jung's 5 hidden messages that appear in almost everyone's dreams. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your dreams the same way again. In fact, the dream you had last night might have been trying to warn you about something that's about to happen in your life. So stick around, because what you're about to learn could literally change everything. But first, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I kept having this recurring dream. I was in my childhood home, but it wasn't quite right. The rooms were in the wrong places, the walls were different colors, and there was this door I'd never seen before. Every time I tried to open it, I'd wake up. This dream haunted me for months until I discovered Jung's method of dream analysis. What I found behind that door in my dream changed my entire life trajectory. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. Now, before we dive into the 5 hidden messages, we need to understand something crucial. Jung believed that dreams speak in a language of symbols. It's like your unconscious mind is an artist, painting pictures instead of using words. And just like any language, once you learn to read it, a whole new world opens up to you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how certain dreams feel more important than others? Like they're trying to tell you something urgent? That's because they are. Jung discovered that our dreams aren't just random neural firings. They're actually a sophisticated communication system between your conscious mind, the part of you that's watching this video right now, and your unconscious mind, the vast, mysterious part of you that knows things you don't even know you. No, think about it this way. Your conscious mind is like the tip of an iceberg. It's what you're aware of, what you can control. But beneath the surface lies this massive unconscious realm, filled with all your experiences, instincts, forgotten memories, and inherited wisdom from thousands of generations of human evolution. And every single night, this unconscious mind tries to communicate with you through dreams. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Jung spent over 60 years studying thousands of dreams from people all over the world. And he discovered something remarkable. Despite our different cultures, languages, and life experiences, we all share certain universal dream patterns. These patterns contain specific messages that your unconscious is trying to deliver to your conscious mind. So let's dive into the first hidden message. Hidden message. Number 1. The shadow self-warning. This is probably the most common and most misunderstood message in dreams. Have you ever dreamed about someone you absolutely can't stand? Maybe it's a coworker who drives you crazy, or a family member who pushes all your buttons. Or perhaps you've dreamed about doing something completely out of character, something that shocked you when you woke up. Here's what Jung discovered. These dreams aren't about those other people at all. They're about you. Specifically, they're about parts of yourself that you've rejected, denied, or pushed into the shadows of your unconscious. Let me explain. We all have aspects of our personality that we don't like or don't want to admit we have. Maybe you see yourself as a kind person, so you reject any feelings of anger or aggression. Maybe you pride yourself on being rational, so you deny your emotional side. These rejected parts don't just disappear. They go underground into what Jung called the shadow. And here's the thing, your shadow isn't bad. It's just the parts of you that you've decided are unacceptable. But those parts still have energy, still have needs, and they will find ways to express themselves, often in destructive ways if you keep ignoring them not. So when you dream about that annoying coworker, your unconscious might be showing you something about yourself that you need to acknowledge. Maybe their pushiness that irritates you so much is actually reflecting your own suppressed assertiveness. Maybe their emotional outbursts are showing you your own denied feelings. I had a client once who kept dreaming about her lazy brother. In the dreams, he would be lying on the couch while she did all the work, and she'd wake up furious. But when we explored it using Jung's method, she realized something profound. She had been working herself to exhaustion, never allowing herself to rest because she judged relaxation as laziness. Her dreams weren't about her brother at all. They were her unconscious begging her to acknowledge her own need for rest. Shadow message in dreams often comes as a warning. It's saying, hey, you're ignoring this part of yourself, and if you keep doing it, it's going to cause problems. Maybe you'll explode in anger at the wrong moment because you've been suppressing it for too long. Maybe you'll sabotage your success because you can't accept your own ambition. The shadow always finds a way out. So how do you recognize shadow dreams? Look for strong emotional reactions. If you wake up with intense feelings about someone or something in your dream, especially negative feelings, that's often your shadow talking. Also, pay attention to characters in your dreams who do things you would never do. That's usually your unconscious showing you your own denied potential. Hidden message. Number 2, the relationship mirror. The second hidden message Jung discovered is what I call the relationship mirror. This is fascinating, and once you understand it, it will transform how you see every relationship in your life. In your dreams, every person you encounter represents two things simultaneously. First, they might represent your actual relationship with that person. But second, and this is the crucial part, they represent aspects of your own psyche. Jung called these aspects the anima and animus, the feminine side in men and the masculine side in women. Now, before you roll your eyes thinking this is some outdated gender stereotype, hear me out. Jung wasn't talking about social roles or behaviors. He was talking about psychological principles that exist in everyone, regardless of gender. The feminine principle involves qualities like intuition, emotional intelligence, creativity, and receptivity. The masculine principle involves qualities like logic, assertiveness, structure, and action. We all have both principles within us, but often one is more developed than the other. And here's where dreams come in. When you dream about romantic partners, attractions, or even conflicts with the opposite sex, your unconscious is often trying to show you something about your own inner balance. I'll give you a personal example. A few years ago, I went through a period where I kept dreaming about this incredibly wise woman who would give me advice. She appeared in different forms, sometimes as a teacher, sometimes as a mysterious stranger, sometimes even as a talking animal. At the time, I was in full analytical mode in my life, trying to logic my way through every problem. These dreams were my unconscious telling me I needed to listen to my intuition more, to trust my feelings, not just my thoughts, for women. This often appears as dreams about powerful male figures, could be positive, like a wise guide, or negative, like a threatening pursuer. These dreams are showing you something about your own relationship with assertion, boundaries, or taking action in the world. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Jung found that these relationship dreams also reveal how we project onto others. You know how sometimes you meet someone and instantly feel attracted or repelled? That's often because they're reflecting something in your own unconscious. Dreams help us see these projections. If you keep dreaming about a partner being unfaithful, it might not be about them at all. It might be about your own relationship with trust, or even your own faithfulness to yourself and your values. If you dream about someone abandoning you, it might be showing you how you're abandoning parts of yourself. One of my viewers shared a dream where her husband kept shape-shifting into different people. Using Jung's method, she realized this wasn't about her actual husband. It was showing her how she kept changing herself to please others, never showing her authentic self. The dream was using her husband as a symbol to mirror her own shape-shifting. Behavior. These relationship mirror dreams are incredibly valuable because they show us our blind spots. We can see others clearly, but we often can't see ourselves. Dreams use the people in our lives as mirrors to show us what we need to see about ourselves. Hidden. Message number 3. The compensation principle. This third hidden message is one of Jung's most brilliant discoveries, and it's probably happening in your dreams right now without you realizing it. Jung called it the compensation principle, and once you understand it, you'll see why your strangest dreams actually make perfect sense. Here's the principle. Your dreams are trying to balance your conscious attitude. Whatever you're overdoing in your waking life, your dreams will show you the opposite. Whatever you're ignoring or suppressing, your dreams will amplify. It's like your psyche has a built-in balance system, always trying to keep you whole and healthy. Let me give you some examples that will make this crystal clear. If you're someone who's always in control, always managing everything, you might have dreams where you're completely helpless. Maybe you're trying to run, but your legs won't move. Or you're trying to speak, but no words come out. These aren't nightmares trying to torment you. They're your unconscious saying, hey, you need to learn to let go sometimes. You can't control everything. Or maybe you're someone who avoids conflict at all costs. You're the peacemaker, always smoothing things over. Then you might have dreams where you're in massive arguments, maybe even physical fights. Again, this isn't your unconscious being mean. It's showing you that you have fight in you, that sometimes conflict is necessary, and you're paying a price for always being nice. I once worked with a CEO who prided himself on being completely rational, never showing emotion in business. He came to me because he kept having dreams where he was crying uncontrollably in public. He was horrified by these dreams. But when we explored them using Jung's method, he realized his unconscious was desperately trying to tell him that his emotional numbness was costing him in his relationships, in his creativity, even in his business decisions. The dream stopped when he started allowing himself to feel and express emotions appropriately. Here's another fascinating aspect of compensation. If you're going through a really dark time in your life, you might have surprisingly positive dreams. Dreams of flying, of beautiful landscapes, of joy and freedom. This isn't your mind playing cruel tricks. It's your unconscious reminding you that light still exists, that this darkness isn't all there is. It's keeping hope alive when your conscious mind has given up. Conversely, when everything in your life is going great, you might have dark or anxious dreams. This isn't pessimism, it's wisdom. Your unconscious is reminding you to stay grounded, to remember that life has cycles, to prepare for challenges. It's like your psyche's way of saying, enjoy this good time, but don't get complacent. The compensation principle also works with specific life situations. If you're facing a big decision and you're leaning heavily one way, your dreams might show you all the reasons to go the other way. Not because that's necessarily the right choice, but because you need to see the full picture before deciding. One woman shared with me that before her wedding, she kept having dreams about running away, being trapped, losing her freedom. She was terrified these dreams meant she shouldn't get married. But when we explored them, she realized she'd been so focused on the romantic aspects of marriage that she hadn't honestly looked at what she was giving up. The dreams weren't telling her not to marry. They were making sure she went into it. With eyes wide open. This compensation principle is why dream dictionaries don't really work. A dream about death doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. For someone who avoids thinking about mortality, it might be compensation pushing them to consider life's finite nature. For someone obsessed with death, the same dream might be trying to pull them back to life. Hidden message number 4, the call to growth. The fourth hidden message is what I consider the most exciting one. Jung discovered dreams don't just reflect where you are, they show you where you're meant to go. They're like a GPS for your psychological and spiritual development, constantly pointing you toward your fullest potential. Jung called this process individuation, becoming who you truly are, not who society, your family, or even your ego thinks you should be. And dreams are one of the primary ways your unconscious guides this process. These growth dreams often feature what Jung called archetypal images. You might dream of wise old men or women who give you advice. You might dream of heroes' journeys, quests, challenges, treasures to find. You might dream of death and rebirth, of transformation, of discovering hidden rooms in houses, or new lands to explore. I'll never forget a dream I had during a major life transition. I was in a house I'd never seen before, and I discovered a staircase leading down to a basement. As I descended, I found room after room filled with incredible things. Art supplies I'd forgotten I owned, musical instruments I could play, books I'd written. I woke up with this profound sense that there was so much more to me than I was allowing myself to express. That dream changed my life. It was showing me potential I'd buried, talents I'd ignored, because they didn't fit my image of who I was supposed to be. It was calling me to grow beyond my limited self-concept. These growth dreams often come at crucial life moments, before major decisions, during crises, when you're stuck in life. They're like a wise friend saying, "There's another way. There's more to you than this." Sometimes these dreams are challenging. You might dream of climbing a mountain, and it's hard, exhausting. You might dream of crossing a dangerous bridge, or navigating a dark forest. These aren't just anxiety dreams. They're showing you that growth requires courage, that becoming who you're meant to be isn't always easy, but it's worth it. Jung found that these growth dreams often contain symbols of wholeness, circles, mandalas, squares, the number 4. These appear when you're integrating different parts of yourself, becoming more complete. You might dream of 4 people, 4 rooms, 4 directions. This is your unconscious, showing you that you're bringing together aspects of yourself that were previously separate. One of the most common growth dreams is finding new rooms in a familiar house. The house represents your psyche, and the new rooms are undiscovered aspects of yourself. I had a client who dreamed she found a beautiful library in her childhood home, filled with books in languages she didn't know she could read. This dream came right before she discovered a passion for learning about her cultural heritage that completely transformed her sense of identity. Animals in dreams often carry growth messages too. Jung found that animals represent our instinctual wisdom, a part of us that knows without thinking. If you dream of a wise animal guide or of becoming an animal yourself, your unconscious might be calling you to trust your instincts more, to get out of your head and into your body. Water dreams are huge for growth too. Oceans, rivers, lakes. Water represents the unconscious itself, the flow of life, emotions, and change. If you're dreaming of water, especially if you're entering it or crossing it, you're likely in a major growth phase. The state of the water tells you about the process. Calm water suggests smooth transition. Turbulent water suggests challenging but transformative change. Hidden message number 5, the future self-communication. This 5th hidden message is the most mysterious and controversial, but Jung observed it too many times to ignore. Sometimes, dreams seem to know things before they happen. Not in a supernatural way, but because your unconscious can see patterns and trajectories that your conscious mind misses. Jung called these prospective dreams, and they work like this. Your unconscious is constantly processing vast amounts of information, things you've seen but didn't consciously notice, patterns you've observed but haven't consciously connected, subtle changes in your body or environment. It puts all this together and sometimes shows you where things are heading. I've seen this countless times. People dream about health issues before symptoms appear. They dream about relationship problems before they consciously realize anything's wrong. They dream about job changes before any external signs appear. It's not magic. It's your unconscious being incredibly sophisticated, pattern detector. But here's the really interesting part. These dreams don't just predict, they prepare. By showing you possible futures, they help you get ready psychologically for what's coming. They're like practice runs for your psyche. I had a powerful experience with this myself. 6 months before my father became ill, I started having dreams about taking care of him, about hospitals, about saying goodbye. At the time, he was perfectly healthy, and the dreams disturbed me. But when he was diagnosed with cancer months later, I realized these dreams had been preparing me. They'd helped me process emotions in advance, so I could be present for him when he needed me. These future self-dreams also show you potential paths. You might dream of yourself in different careers, relationships, or life situations. These aren't necessarily predictions. They're possibilities your unconscious is exploring. They're showing you options you might not have consciously considered. Jung found that creative people often have these dreams before breakthroughs. Scientists dream of solutions before discovering them. Artists dream of creations before making them. Writers dream of stories before writing them. The unconscious is working on problems 24/7, and dreams are how it shares its findings. But here's a crucial point. These dreams aren't fixed prophecies. They're more like weather forecasts based on current conditions. They show you where you're heading if you stay on your current path. But you always have the power to change direction. One woman shared a dream where she saw herself alone in an empty apartment, surrounded by work papers. She was successful, but deeply lonely. This dream shocked her into realizing she'd been sacrificing all her relationships for her career. It wasn't a prophecy. It was a warning that helped her change course. How to work with these messages? Now that you know these 5 hidden messages, you're probably wondering, how do I actually decode my own dreams? Here's Jung's practical method that you can start using tonight. First, keep a dream journal by your bed. The moment you wake up, before you move, before you check your phone, write down everything you remember. Don't judge, don't interpret yet, just record. Include emotions, colors, people, places, actions, everything. Second, look for the emotions. Jung said the emotional tone of a dream is often more important than the literal content. How did you feel in the dream? How do you feel about it now? These emotions are clues to what your unconscious is trying to communicate. Third, ask yourself, what in my current life does this remind me of? Dreams often use symbolic language to talk about current situations. That tsunami in your dream might not be about water at all. It might be about feeling overwhelmed at work. Fourth, look for compensations. What's the opposite of how you've been living? If you've been all work, dreams of play are compensating. If you've been avoiding something, dreams will push you toward it. Fifth, dialogue with dream figures. This sounds weird, but it works. In your imagination, talk to the characters from your dreams. Ask them what they want, what they're trying to tell you. You'll be surprised what comes up. Here's a real example. A viewer shared this dream. I'm in my childhood school, but I'm my current age. There's a test I haven't studied for. I can't find my classroom. Everyone else seems to know where to go except me. Using Jung's method, we discovered the school setting suggested a learning situation in her current life. Being her current age in a childhood setting suggested old patterns affecting her present. The test she hadn't studied for reflected her fear of not being prepared for a new job responsibility. Not finding her classroom showed feeling lost and without direction. Everyone else knowing where to go revealed her shadow projection. She assumed everyone else had it figured out except her. The dream's message? She was letting childhood fears of not being good enough affect her current confidence. The dream was showing her that she was treating her new job like a test she could fail, rather than an opportunity to learn and grow. The bigger picture, here's something that might blow your mind. Jung believed that working with your dreams isn't just personal development. It's contributing to the evolution of human consciousness. Every time you bring unconscious content into consciousness, every time you integrate a shadow aspect or follow a growth dream, you're not just helping yourself. You're contributing to the collective human project of becoming more conscious, more whole, more fully human. Your dreams are part of a conversation that's been going on since humans first developed consciousness. The symbols and patterns in your dreams connect you to every human who's ever lived. When you dream of flying, you're connecting to the same archetypal experience humans have had for millennia. When you dream of the shadow, you're wrestling with the same integration challenges our ancestors faced. This is why Jung spent his life studying dreams. He saw them as humanity's natural healing and growth system. In our modern world, we've largely forgotten this. We wake up, dismiss our dreams as weird, and rush into our day. But we're dismissing one of the most sophisticated guidance systems we have. Think about it. You spend roughly a third of your life asleep, and a significant portion of that dreaming. That's decades of your life. Evolution doesn't waste energy on useless processes. If dreaming wasn't profoundly important for our survival and thriving, we wouldn't do it. Your dream journey starts tonight, so here's my challenge to you. Tonight, when you go to sleep, set an intention to remember your dreams. Put that journal by your bed. When you wake up, resist the urge to grab your phone. Instead, lie still for a moment and see what images, feelings, or fragments you can recall. Don't worry if you don't remember much at first. Like any skill, dream recall improves with practice. Even if you just remember a feeling or a single image, write it down. Over time, you'll remember more. And here's what's really exciting. Once you start paying attention to your dreams, they start responding. It's like your unconscious says, finally, they're listening. Your dreams may become more vivid, more meaningful, more obviously connected to your life. Remember those 5 hidden messages. The shadow self-warning, showing you what you're denying about yourself. The relationship mirror revealing your projections and inner balance. The compensation principle, balancing your conscious attitude. The call to growth, pointing you toward your potential. And the future self-communication, preparing you for what's coming. Your dreams tonight might contain any or all of these messages. They might show you something you desperately need to see about yourself. They might solve a problem you've been struggling with. They might reveal a path forward you hadn't considered. They might prepare you for a change that's coming. This isn't New Age mysticism. This is based on decades of clinical observation, thousands of case studies, and the life work of one of psychology's greatest minds. Jung didn't just theorize about dreams. He analyzed thousands of them, including his own. He tested these ideas with rigorous traumatic thoroughness. And now this knowledge is yours. You have access to the same wisdom system that helped Jung's patients transform their lives. That helped Jung himself become one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. So what dream message do you most need to hear right now? What is your unconscious trying desperately to tell you? Tonight, you have the chance to find out. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden meaning in your dreams, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want to go deeper into Jungian psychology and dream work, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I release new videos every week, diving into the mysteries of the mind. In the comments below, I'd love to hear about a dream that's been puzzling you. Share it, and let's see if the community can help you decode its message using Jung's 5 hidden messages. The most interesting dream will get pinned, and I'll do a full analysis in a future video. Remember, every single night, your unconscious is trying to help you become who you're truly meant to be. All you have to do is listen. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you in the next video.